Hi kids, this is the story time. I'm reading the book Alexander and the Wind-Up Mouse. This is by Leo, the author. Help! Help! A mouse! There was a scream, then a crash. Cups, saucers, and spoons were flying everywhere, every direction. Alexander ran for his hole as fast as his little legs would carry him. All Alexander wanted was a few crumbs, and yet every time they saw him, they would scream for help and chase him with a broom. One day, when there was no one in the house, Alexander heard a squeak in Annie's room. He sneaked in, and what did he see? Another mouse, but not an ordinary mouse like himself. Instead, it had legs on two little wheels, and on its back was a key. "Who are you?" asked Alexander. "I am Willy, the wind-up mouse, Annie's favorite toy. They wind me up to make me run in circles. They cuddle me, and at night I sleep on a soft white pillow between the doll and a woolly teddy bear. Everyone loves me." "They don't care much for me," said Alexander sadly. But he was happy to have found a friend. "Let's go to the kitchen and look for crumbs," he said. "Oh, I can't," said Willy. "I can only move when they wind me. But I don't mind. Everybody loves me." Alexander, too, came to love Willy. He went to visit him whenever he could. He told him of his adventures with brooms, flying saucers, and mouse traps. Willy told about the penguin, the woolly bear, and mostly about Auntie. The two friends spent many happy hours together. But when he was alone in the dark of his hideout, Alexander thought of Willy with envy. "Ah," he sighed, "why can't I be a wind-up mouse like Willy and be cuddled and be loved?" One day Willy told a strange story. "I've heard," he whispered mysteriously, "that in the garden at the end of the pebble path, close to the blackberry bush, there lives a magic lizard who can change one animal into another animal." "Do you mean," said Alexander, "that he could change me into a wind-up mouse like you?" That very afternoon, Alexander went into the garden and ran to the end of the path. "Lizard! Lizard!" he whispered. And suddenly there stood right before him, full of colors and flowers and butterflies, a large lizard. "Is it true you could change me into a wind-up mouse?" asked Alexander in a quivering voice. "When the mouse is round," said the lizard, "bring me a purple pebble." For days and days, Alexander searched the garden for a purple pebble. In vain! He found yellow pebbles and blue pebbles and green pebbles, but not one tiny, tiny little purple pebble. At last, tired and hungry, he returned to the house. In the corner of the pantry, he saw a box full of toys, and there between blocks and broken dolls was Willy. "What happened?" said Alexander, surprised. Willy told him a sad story. It had been Annie's birthday. There had been a party, and everyone had brought a gift. The next day, Willy sighed. Many of the old toys were dumped in this box. We will all be thrown away. Alexander was almost in tears. Poor Willy, he thought. But then suddenly something caught his eye. Could it be? Yes, it was. It was a little purple pebble. All excited, he ran to the garden, the precious pebble tied in his hands. There was a full moon. Out of breath, Alexander stopped near the blackberry bush. "Lizard, lizard, in the bush," he called quickly. The leaves rustled, and there stood the lizard. "The moon was round, and the pebble found," said Lizard. "Who do you wish to be?" "I want to be..." Alexander stopped. And suddenly he said, "Lizard, lizard, could you change Willy into a mouse like me?" The lizard blinked. There was a blinding light, and all was quiet. The purple pebble was gone. Alexander ran back to the house as fast as he could. The box was there, but alas, it was empty. Too late, he thought, and with a heavy heart, he went to his hole in the baseboard. Suddenly, something squeaked. Cautiously, Alexander moved closer to the hole. There was a mouse inside. "Who are you?" said Alexander, a little frightened. "My name is Willy," said the mouse. "Willy!" cried Alexander. "The lizard! The lizard did it!" He hugged Willy, and they ran to the garden path, and they danced until dawn. The end.